afternoon to everyone. It should be the afternoon everywhere. Welcome to Mrs. Best Reviews channel. We're here to recap Love and Hip Hop Atlanta season 11, episode 9 with renowned author and fabulous haircut receiver, James Jackson.
Not haircut receiver. Girl, stop that.
He keeps up with the haircut. Listen, that's important. That's important. Anywho, we're here to discuss the episode. In my opinion, this episode, there was a lot compacted into this episode, which I was surprised about.
It was way too much for me.
It was a lot. It was
way too much.
Yes.
I was like, oh, at some point I had to turn it off and then come back.
Look, see, I just watched it this morning because I turned it on last night for a second and saw that it was on some I said, I can't do this. I'm about to go to sleep. I'm peaceful. Let me do it in the morning. So the episode starts with Spice. We see that her kids are finally in Atlanta with her, and her kids are with her. She basically lets them know that she's going to have to potentially have another surgery. Her mom is there. Listen, in my opinion, the kids were hurt and stuff. I'm going to keep this short and sweet because I don't want to comment on kids too much. Spice, I don't know why you would tell your kids about the surgery before getting the second opinion, one. And two, your kids are visibly upset. The little boy, Nicholas, he cried. Nicola Toy, she had big water, ready to come out of her eyes. And, no matter what we say about these shows, the kids are the one form of reality that probably is reality. And I just hope that they're all able to heal, because that's got to be scary for your parent. I remember my mom had a heart attack. Just seeing her in the hospital bed broke me. So I can imagine how they could feel. But I just feel like overall she shouldn't be on camera going through the situation, and the situation with the children further proved it.
Hell, according to Tasha K on YouTube.
Oh Lord.
Y'all go watch that video.
What did Tasha K say?
Allegedly, because this is my girl's channel, y'all know people like to sue these days. Allegedly, Spice is faking this shit, and the surgery she had was enhancement surgery on one of her body parts, allegedly.
I actually was trained as surgical nursing, so I believe you, especially seeing her incision and what the doctor was saying later on in the episode. I think that she did go through something I think she did almost lose her life, but I think that she's fine now, and I think that shows. We'll discuss Spice a little further.
Yeah, go a little further. But I'm just saying, these kids crying and stuff, it was hard for me because in the back of my mind, all I'm playing is Tasha K talking about this, because it just so happened Tasha K just put out that video as this episode was.
Listen, I believe Tasha K because I've been saying it for those who have watched me. I know people have been like, you are hard on Spice and this and that. I've had to read some of you in comments. Listen, I can spot, I don't know what it is. The gift that God gave me is the gift of seeking out bullshit. And I'm trying to tell you, Spice, from the beginning, it doesn't make sense. Like, if you are still in a gentle place, you wouldn't be well enough to buy a house. If you were in an Eau Clay place, you wouldn't be well enough to be flying back and forth. It just doesn't make sense for someone who truly just was almost clinically dead to be on TV. But we gonna move on and come back to her. The next thing we get is Rashida and Erica Dixon. We see Erica Dixon. I say every couple of seasons she makes a little pop up, and it's usually in between Scrappy's breakups or somebody's breakup. She looks good. Erica Dixon to me is a beautiful woman. I think
absolutely, she's gorgeous.
And that's why Scrappy can't let that go. He's still mad about that shit. He said, "Look how I messed this up." But but Erica Dixon basically talks to Rashida. And I just put this note in here. It's random. I think that Rashida, Carly Red, and Yandy's time is up on the Love and Hip Hop franchise. But that's just
absolutely. No, we all feel that way.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not even for negative reasons like Bambi or other people.
Yandy should have been gone a long fucking time ago. I don't understand. Like I said, Mona, pay Yandy her money so she can be on her way. I don't know why we got to sit here and watch her all this fucking time as if she brings anything to the show. With the messy ass baby mamas and her.
I agree, because outside of the baby mamas, this whole episode, I think everyone who watched it can agree, Yandy was just commenting and in everyone else's business. And I'm pretty sure it's going to stay that way. And I don't want to see her family have issues and stuff. But if you have nothing to give outside of that, Andy, you either going to be the mogul of the group who has their businesses and their shit together, or you're going to be the new messy Carly Red, because that's what is given. Yandy is in everybody else's business but her own. Anywho, we see Rashida asked about the dynamic of Bambi, which was a little odd to me. And we get the answer from Erica Dixon. And Erica says that Bambi does not feed her daughter. She talks shit about her daughter as well as about herself in front of her daughter. Listen, the biggest thing for me that was bothersome was Erica explained the not feeding your child. Because I've actually heard this from friends who have, relatives and, whatever, kids and things like that, where I've actually had to go pick up a former friend's son, because she told me that her sister and her sister's husband fed all the kids, because all the grandkids, niece and nephew was at the house, but did not feed her son on purpose just because they had a beef with her. So I'm like, no matter what happens, kids should never be involved in beefs. But based on, I feel like we're seeing what happened on the internet between Imani and Bambi play out on the screens, which is what everyone was saying when we saw it. Oh, they must be filming. But I'm definitely just tired of the situation. So we also hear that Bambi told Erica Dixon how to address her when Erica Dixon just tried to be like, hey, what's up? She's like, that's not how you address me. So it's just a lot going on. Rashida's return to what Erica Dixon has said is, well, Bambi's so nurturing and, I've never seen her like that. Listen. One, y'all know what I'm going to say on Mrs. Beast's Best Reviews. Rashida, stop talking. This is why you can't be on the show. There's nothing that you say that anyone can take as value or wisdom, because you are someone who just settled. And I can't understand it, because she's a beautiful woman. So Rashida should not be offering her opinions on any relationship issue when she takes care of, buys diapers for, and clothes the baby that her man made outside it. Just be quiet, Rashida. Just be
quiet. Right.
But the other thing, there's a such thing as a wolf in sheep's clothing. And I think that everyone on reality television, or everyone who's presenting themselves to the public in any type of way, presents that. James is a wolf in sheep's clothing. I'm a wolf in sheep's clothing. You see us giving our opinions, but you don't know what's actually going on in our lives. You don't know. So I think that is the case for the situation with Bambi. It's just interesting why these people who are on TV would say, oh, I don't think she's that way. Well, just because someone's nice to me doesn't mean they could not be a psychopath or an aggressor to somebody else. So it was just an interesting discussion.
It pissed me off when they said that, because it's like, at the same time, you have to understand the position she was with this girl's father, and how their relationship became a point of contention for them both. So it's not unbelievable that she would be this hard on this child, because remember, this is a grown adult, and we've seen, like, I've had certain people in my family tell me that the person they were with didn't want to feed the child that was not theirs, and it was like, that's not hard to believe. I don't understand what's wrong with y'all motherfuckers, because these are kids at the end of the day. These are not grown-ass adults you're trying to feed. These are still children. That girl was still underage when this shit happened. So the fact of the matter is, what's so hard to believe about that? What's so hard to believe about that? Like, to me, it's a child saying this. What child is going to lie about not being fed? That's stupid.
Thank you. Because I think that's important, what he said. No child's going to lie about not being fed. No child's going to lie about this. Scrappy has dated a lot of women. There's a lot of women that have met Scrappy's daughter. Imani, unfortunately, is the child of two single parents who are the type of people who always end up in these serious relationships and bring their kids around. It's just a fact. Nothing's wrong with that, but something becomes wrong with that when your child is disrespected or mistreated in any form. Right. So I find it interesting that if this was Rashida's kids, if this was anybody else's kids, and I'll say this again on the episode, they will understand the energy. Like, you don't talk about nobody child, you don't do this. But it seems like because they're all friends with Bambi as well, they're just allowing these things to happen, and that's not okay. And the other thing is, if this is your stepchild, you have to respect your stepchildren the same way you do, you know, your spouse in some ways. You have to be respectful. You cannot mistreat them. You just can't. You don't got to be close to them, but feed her. I'm just
Right.
saying, you know. Anywho, we're going to move it along. The next thing we see is Jessica White and the BAM meeting up. So Jessica is talking about how she's in pain from her ovaries because she's got nothing else to talk about but her ovaries and Nick Cannon. And we still have yet to confirm. A lot of people don't even know you were with him because he has so many other women he was with at the same time. So nobody cares. I'm not going to go over that. Listen,
I'm not either, because I have beat Jessica White and drug her through the Mississippi River and
oh
back
my
over this
God.
bullshit with this
Oh
Nican
no.
shit. I said if she mentions this one more fucking time, I am going to scream. I'm not going to scream, y'all, because I don't have much of a voice to do so. But let me explain something to you, Jessica White. Nobody believes that you and Nick Cannon were together. There's no pictures of y'all anywhere. There is no pictures of him buying you a house. There's no picture of him giving you a ring. There's no picture of him in 2015. He was still fucking married to Mariah Carey. So I don't want to hear from you in this bullshit once again. He has 517 children. And you really expect us to believe him fathering that many children, that he wasn't with any of the other women, that he didn't sell them other women that same shit he probably sold you.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, like, I'm sick of her. Like, and
Yeah,
what's
I'm
crazy is
not even,
I
listen,
want to like her. I want to like her. I do.
fibroids and ovarian cysts are a real thing. They are painful. I encourage every female to go get your yearly pap smear, go get checked every year as often as your doctor suggests. That is what I have to say on that with Jessica White. Now we're going to get into Bambi basically tells her side about Puerto Rico because we find out that Scrappy, Erica Dixon, and Imani went to Puerto Rico for Imani's 18th birthday. Um, in my opinion, it sounded like Bambi was jealous of the fact that Scrappy went to Puerto Rico because why is she bringing it up? It's a little odd. Listen, if you had a good relationship with his daughter, then Erica Dixon, for fans who are OG day ones of watching Love and Hip Hop, know that Erica Dixon is one of those people who was pretty like fair and made sense for the most part. If you would have been respectful to her child and not always being rude and throwing them Compton jabs that she liked to throw, then I truly believe that she could have been on that trip as well. The other thing is, why is it a problem if he runs to Puerto Rico while you're not together? You're past separated. There's paperwork filed from the timeline of this Puerto Rico trip, as well as you being in court to figure out your custody agreements. You guys are not a couple, so he can't run behind Erica for nothing. You're equating Imani's birthday as him running after Erica, and it's just not. It's not
It's not
that.
only that she's doing that. This is where I have a problem with Bambi.
Mm.
What business is it yours when your husband is going to Puerto Rico for his daughter?
Yep.
It's not like he's going to Puerto Rico to meet Thang Thang and go and have an affair.
Right.
Even then, you filed for divorce, right? You want no parts of him, right? Does he owe you money? Is there no food in the refrigerator? Do the
Mm.
kids miss him? Is there
Mm.
something going on that we need to know? You didn't say none of that. So I'm sorry. Like, I can't be with you on this one. Because that makes no sense to me. Because this was her 18th birthday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, I'm sorry, Bambi. No, no. I can't see. I'm with you on other shit, but no, this is stupid. That has
Yeah.
nothing to do with you. Why would you even want to go? Is the question. If you don't
There
feel
you
like the
go.
girl mama, and you and the girl probably, I don't know if that Twitter shit happened at this point or not. I
I
don't know.
think she's just trying to be messy because
I
I
think
don't
so too, because
see.
I don't see what reason you would want to go. And I don't see why you would have a problem with him going if y'all are not together at this moment and everything in your household is together. There's, as I said, the babies are okay. There's food under the refrigerator. The nanny has not quit. Miss Gomez hasn't quit yet. So what's going on here?
Bambi, obviously, so she tells her side to Puerto Rico. It seems that she's jealous of the child. There's obvious emotion. I think that she had, when we get further into the same discussion, Bambi goes on to say, I'm sorry, we'll call you Adiz because a deer has more sense than this chick. Fucking, that's her government name, Adiz, Adiz.
I know it is, but yeah, I just
Listen, Bambi had the audacity to say that Scrappy is going on a smear campaign. He said that Scrappy Erica, she's alluding that Scrappy Erica and Imani are doing a smear campaign against her. Bambi, you are your own smear campaign, and Scrappy is too. I don't want people to think that because I'm giving strong opinions on Bambi that I don't have strong opinions on Scrappy. I think they're both terribly irresponsible adults.
absolutely, I agree with that.
Just in
I
general.
agree.
Just in
I agree
general.
with everything you're saying because the problem is that they can't be amicable for this divorce when y'all are on a public ass TV show. There's no way y'all could be amicable.
Yeah.
Like you have kids together, you're trying to work the situation out. Like
Well,
to be
separate from
apart.
that, Bambi has some nerve because if you want to take it there, you're on this platform because of Scrappy. I don't care what nobody says. You came on this platform in the hot tub with Benzino. That didn't work out for you. So then the next thing we see is you're dating Scrappy, like the second he's available again today, years ago. So you're on this platform primarily, and people know you because of him. And if it comes to people knowing you for other stuff, it's not because of you, it's because of Malaysia and Basketball Wives and your friendship. So I think that Bambi just has a little chip on her shoulder because a lot of people probably relate her to other people. But I think when it comes to the benefit of her kids, she needs to relax. There's no way they're doing a smear campaign on you. What they're doing, it seems, is responding to your behaviors
You
and
know, yeah,
action.
I agree with
Mm.
that. But as I said, I don't know if that Twitter shit had happened yet.
Mm.
Although Imani did start it, you didn't have to respond to it.
She's a child, like you said.
She's a child.
And even if she wasn't, a 25-year-old shouldn't be arguing with an 18-year-old. A 35-year-old shouldn't be arguing with a 25-year-old. Once you get to a certain age, as you progress through life, in
Who's
my
25 and
opinion,
35?
I don't know who. I'm just saying in
Oh, I
general.
was going to say, because I know Baby ain't no goddamn no 25,
No, but I'm
35. Baby
saying
is almost, Baby's almost 45, if we
no,
want to
no,
be
no.
technical.
I know she is, but I'm just saying in general, as you go through life, whether you're 45, 55, there are certain people that you should no longer be willing to argue with
No, and I
because
agree with that. No,
of
I
different
agree with what you're
spaces.
saying because
Yeah,
I wouldn't have responded to the little girl. I just like,
I
okay.
wouldn't either.
I
I'd be
wouldn't,
like, check
especially
your
if I'm gonna leave
tone.
your, especially if I'm gonna leave your daddy.
Right.
Girl, look, if you want a relationship with me, fine. Like, if you don't, fine. I ain't even argue with you. I ain't even argue with you over no.
It's
You want
like
to see your
these
little brothers and
women
sisters? Come
on
on over. But like, no, we ain't. No, we ain't got no
it's like
relationship.
these loving hip hop females, specifically Bambi, Sierra, and Mena. It's like y'all divorced the
Y'all are.
men for reasons that are valid. I stand by the reason she left Scrappy and Erica Mena, Sierra, all of that. But then you still expect them to treat you like you're still together in some ways. And I'm like,
That is. It's funny you say that because that's exactly what I was thinking about. I couldn't think of the words to say it. They do. Erica did feels always about Safari, and I'm like, okay, y'all must not know what a divorce is. Let me explain what a divorce
right.
is. A
He owes you nothing
divorce
now.
is when you decide your marriage no longer works for you, so you want to be apart and become single again. When you
Mhm.
become single again, that does not mean he has to still take all responsibility as if he is still legally binded to your ass, because he
Mm.
is not. They are crazy. Bambi, Erica Mena, and Sierra. Because Sierra, I didn't see you act this way with Shooter. So that's how I know you full of shit.
Yeah. The three of them are a mess. What I
Yeah.
got from the meeting between Jessica and Bambi is it seemed forced. I just don't see Jessica
I don't see
like
that either. I don't.
blending
That
with
was,
any of these people. I'm
as
just
I
like,
said, somebody, look,
and
mechanical
people have
interview.
alleged that Bambi is rude off camera, like getting
Oh,
to
I've
know
heard that
you.
too.
I've heard that
I've
for
heard that as well. I've heard
years.
that too.
So
Yeah. I've heard
yeah,
she's rude. Yeah. I've heard that she's not really likable.
I think that the issue here too, if we look for just to wrap up Jessica Bambi's meeting, Bambi, in my opinion, is clearly a liar. And the reason I say that, I'm not saying Scrap is innocent either. We know Scrap's a liar. We didn't do that. But Bambi's still trying to hide it like we can't see it. And the reason I say that Bambi lies about specific things she discussed with Jessica on the situation with Imani and them is just because nothing Bambi says lines up with anybody who's speaking on an off camera, people even on her side. Nothing she says is anyone like just agreeing to. They just kind of listen. But then for everyone else, there's proof, receipts, things of that nature. So I think that Bambi's trying not to look bad on camera, but I do think she's shady as fuck in the background. And I think it definitely shows with what Erica said early on about how Bambi was like, this is how you address me when you say hello. It's like, dang, what's wrong with you? So I think Bambi's in her head and feelings, and I'm honestly tired of this divorce. I just want it to be final. Moving on, the next scene we get is Spice and Yandel meeting. I'm so tired of Yandy.
Girl, that's what I'm putting my head now because I don't want to hear nothing about Yandy right now. Like,
so from that situation, because Yandy's been concerned, I did say it's nice that Yandy came and became closer with Spice, but I felt like when Spice and Yandy met, Spice is so busy talking about her surgeries and stuff. And look, Tasha K, we may not, I know a lot of people are against her because of Cardi B and that lawsuit, but a lot of the times on that Tasha K show, the stuff she says is either proven with receipts or, you know, other stuff. Sometimes, a lot of the time, maybe not all the time, but some of the time. But we definitely need to speak about Spice. So Spice keeps talking about the surgeries and all this stuff. And, you know, I just feel like this is why I don't have as much empathy for Spice. It just seems like she's trying to milk every scene with her is this and that. I had surgery not long ago for a hernia and some other things. My surgery actually had some issues and I was under for longer, stressed my husband out. He was all sorts of concern. I healed back. Like if you truly sit at home and heal when you're unable to like talk to people, apparently there are times I was conscious and didn't know, all types of shit like that. You should be able to heal to a point where you can at least film, but that should take you a little bit of time, which is time went by before Spice went through this. So I feel like if you're going to speak about all your medical issues, Spice, that you should speak about how you went in for plastic surgery and you went overboard and that's what got you put in this situation, because a lot of people are going, and I'm not saying that to be shady, a lot of people go and get plastic surgery from unlicensed doctors, just random people they heard about, especially on the East Coast and the South. Okay. They'd be, I know this lady in Florida. It's always fucking Florida. Yep. I know this lady in the Bronx. I know this lady here, and she could do the injection. She's not licensed, but she's got a good rep. Like people keep getting hurt and almost dying from surgery. DC Young Fly just lost his female to it. RIP to her. So I think that anybody who's lived through that in these times today should speak about that. Learn to love yourself instead of, you know, trying to make improvements, because look what happened. But that's all I'm going to say on that with Yandy and Spice. I'm over Spice and I'm sick of Yandy. So is there anything you wanted to add to that little scene? Or
your sentiments exactly? Because I am, like I said, I've been over Yandy. I've been over Yandy since season 3 of Love and Hip Hop New York. I ain't been over Yandy. I don't know why Yandy keeps continuing to be on the show. I mean, I get it. Promote your businesses, it's free. I totally get that. But at the same time, you bring nothing, you lie, you are delusional, you can't dress, you
can't dress. Wait a minute.
Dress. I'm serious. Like you're just there, and it's like I need you to do more. It's like Rashida. I need Rashida gone. I don't even want to look at Rashida. I was done with Rashida after K Michelle left Love and Hip Hop.
Yeah,
I was done with.
Owes K Michelle an apology.
Oh, absolutely, she does. Absolutely, she does. And until she does, I'm like, K Michelle, fuck her.
Listen, I'm just tired of everybody, but we go keep it moving. So the next scene we got was Carly Red and Destra, who's a popular soca artist. They have a song together, which recently actually just made the top 10 on iTunes and Billboard top, like they made some
Oh,
serious lists. So congratulations to Carly Red and Destra. The music video is filmed on Carly's birthday. My thing is when they're going over all these issues with Carly and Spice and the whole situation is it seems like people are upset with Carly for relaying information that she received from Mita after getting on a plane instead of waiting to hear about her friend. She got on a plane. Like if something were to happen to you, anybody in your family were to send a message or whatever the hell, however they contact me, and be like, James is in a hospital. You know, I'm gonna come running. I'm not worried about your other friends. I'm not worried
right.
about anything. I'm worried about getting to you to find out if you're okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely can say that. It just seems like they're not upset with Mita, and Mita was the person who was actually had the information and was giving out information, which we'll see somebody with another bad BBL on this show who don't know how to speak English in the correct grammatical way. Uh, Somebody did get a text and been acting. So we'll get into that a little later. But I definitely think that Carly's taking all of the blame for something that she should be sharing the blame equally, if anything, with Mita. Because I feel like if something's wrong, fine. I get not responding, but at the very least, Carly could have communicated. But it seems like even if she says I could have communicated, that they would still be upset. But she has to at least do that so that people can get some type of accountability from Carly, because everybody plays a part in situations. There's
Mm-hmm.
multiple people. So, anywho, Mita brings Carly a cake and shows up to the video shoot. She shows up with a cake and balloons, which was really, really nice. Um, I think that Carly, because we see Carly and Spice talk about, not Carly and Spice, Lord, we see Carly and Mita talk about Spice. And from that conversation, we finally hear Carly say, I'm going to give her some space and let it go. And maybe in time, things will get better. I'm just glad to see her doing that instead of crying after Spice and further making herself look like a psychopath. Carly also says she believes that Shekinah is jealous of her friendship with Spice. Um, but in my opinion, I don't think Shekinah's jealous of Carly. I just think that they are still making her pay for her past, messy ways. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah.
But what are your opinions on that conversation that happened in her video shoot?
Um. See, this is my thing because as I said, I'm conflicted with it because I understand what you're saying about, yeah, I'm gonna be on the first flight to me if something happens, and no
Mm-hmm.
matter what state of mind that we are in at the time. So I definitely get that. That I get, but because it's Carly, I
Mm-hmm.
kind of feel like because in her history with people, it's hard for me to really imagine that it was genuine.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that that's where I'm conflicted because I understand what she's saying. I hear her and she was there. Like I cannot dispute that. But what I can dispute is that sometimes Carly does do things for attention. And for her to say, I did that, or for her to say, I was there, no matter what, you can't say I wasn't there. And to me, it would come across better to me if she said, look, at the end of the day, I just needed to know that you were okay. Now, whether that leaves us, I don't really, I don't know. But I just need to know that you were okay. That's all. See, if Carly would have led like that, then I would have been like, oh, okay, cool. But the fact is that she's not leading like that. Like a lot of this stuff seems like it's caked up drama for this show. Same thing
Mm-hmm.
with Spice. It seems like you're kicking up drama to be on this show
Yeah.
because you had nothing else. That man is gone. Your kids are
Mm-hmm.
not with you. You bought this big ass house. You needed more. So it just seems like a lot of it is disingenuous from Carly's side. But I think that Spice honestly set the platform for it to be disingenuous. So that's how I think of it.
Yeah, Carly obviously struggles with accountability. I just still think they're taking the things they know about her and using it as a way to get on her. It seems like for a couple seasons prior to the show coming to MTV, Carly and Spice have this close friendship, but Spice is always starting some shit with Carly or mad at Carly about something. So it seems like
Well,
when
here's the
they're on
thing.
camera, they
Carly
hate
has
both.
had beef with a lot of the girls she used to be friends with. Tokyo Vanity is one. Sierra is
Mhm.
another. It seems like she does something in the midst of them off camera that makes its way on camera, and I think that she's doing it to make sure she gets a spot, but
Yeah.
not letting them in on the on the plan. And I think that
Yeah.
that's it's kind of like what Dr. Contessa did with Dr. Heavenly.
And they
It's
can't really
like,
say that on TV
yeah, they
without
can't really say it on
everybody
TV.
looking
I'm
dirty.
going to use you as a storyline, but I'm not going to let you know why I'm angry with you on off camera, because off camera we had this rift.
Yeah. Yeah. I just feel overall, just put a pin in it before we move to the stupid ass Frost Bistro opening. Um, overall, if you want to be there for someone, you will find a way to be there, to be near. So it's that simple. And in order for people to achieve and seek resolution, both parties have to be willing to hold accountability for their part and stuff. Um, but the problem is everyone's just trying to find someone to blame. And it's like, okay, if Carly does admit to all the things you're accusing her of and apologize, you people are still going to get at her and say you're not going to trust her. So at this point, it's looking like everybody is making this fight go on for the fucking camera. And I'm like, annoying.
Absolutely.
Anywho, after the video shoot, we see that there's a, which this is how you know you bad at business. Oh no, yo, I'm trying to, I gotta be ethical.
I mean,
All right.
just go through it, because I'm
Okay,
trying
I'm
not to
just
laugh
going through my
myself. And
notes because I'm a laugh. I'm a laugh, y'all. Y'all know my mouth ain't shit. All right. So we get to the soft reopening of Frost Bistro. Now, for those who aren't familiar in business, you have soft openings, which is usually when you open up, things are completed. You see if people want your product, if your POS system's working right, you figure out if the food tastes right or if it's too bland or salty, those things. That's what happens. And then you have an opening. It's like marketing. It prepares you, kind of like posting a reel to see my live now. But she has a soft reopening. So she's done all of this. So it's all redone. Re this, re that. I'm assuming they're still calling it Frost Bistro. We looked at Frost Bistro last week, which was fun. Looks like they're doing okay. They're just giving you small plates for more money than they should charge. But other than that, it looks like no one's complaining anymore about tables, guests, filth. So the Frost have almost figured out how to run a business. So we see Jock and Kendra at this event. Everybody showed up, but I wrote them in because I forgot they was on the motherfucking show. And the reason I forgot that they was on this goddamn show is because we have not seen anything from them. And I'm wondering if MTV did that purposely with editing because they were just on Couples Retreat acting a fool. Or speaking of which, if y'all want to rewatch Couples Retreats recaps, or if you don't want to rewatch the show but want to get quick recaps to understand what happened, go to Watch Your Mouth's Reviews channel, which has taken over your screen, and you can watch those recaps. You can also go to my public playlist on my channel that says MTV VH1 television recaps. There's recaps with James. All of them are there. Anyhow, moving it along. So we see at Frost Bistro that things are reopening and Jock and Kendra finally show up. We have not seen Jock and Kendra at all really this season. We saw them once in the first episode.
The Lord. Praise God.
Thanking God.
Praise God.
He said, "Can I get a witness?" He look. We have not seen Jock and Kendra. I genuinely forgot they were on the show, but the only reason I put it in my notes is because I generally hate the way Kendra's makeup gets done, and I can't stand her high ponytail, heavy wigs. But she had on a cute little red wig, and I was like, I like you in red. She looked good. So I'm trying to
look good, but
she looked good. So I will give that to Kendra. She looked good. But that's about it. We see people speaking about Sierra and Scrappy arguing. And what I appreciated is Bambi says in her confessional, I'm not sure if she said it on the screen, but she did say in her confessional to us that regarding Sierra and Scrappy getting into it, that Sierra got way too invested. She's like, your friends be there for you. They be too invested. I said, okay, but you so calm. Did you tell her? I mean, she's like, y'all saw me tell them, do not bother this man. And they still did it. So are you going to hold your friends accountable? I know you're the group of the bitter baby mamas that aren't accountable in any way. Erica, Sierra, and Bambi. But like,
What's
Come on,
funny
you
is because she
disrespected
gave,
your kid's father, but then it's like, Bambi, how could we expect you
but it
to
was funny because she gave
care
Erica that
that he
title
disrespect the
season.
kid's father when you disrespected his daughter?
Yeah.
Nobody has sense.
It's funny she gave Erica that title years ago. I'll never forget that reunion when you with messy baby mamas. That's what happens.
Yep. And now look, and
Them
now
ta-
look,
look at how them tables have
look
turned.
how, and they
Because
playing it on the internet. They
because
are
here's the thing.
reminding her.
I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. Scrappy ain't shit.
Nope.
He got it honest because it's my main.
Mm-hmm.
We saw how she is. We saw how she raised him. We saw what she does. We saw how she intervenes in his life currently. So when you have that as your examples, how are you going to be what you need to be to somebody else? I don't fault Bambi for filing for divorce from Scrappy. I don't fault
Nobody
because
faults her.
somewhere in that led you to be with this man, and then you realize that he couldn't be what you needed him to be. And that's what I tell you, women, about marrying men for their potentials. Y'all cannot do that anymore because you're always going to end up with his reality at
Mm-hmm.
the end of it. I have a friend now. It's so funny because when I heard her husband had been married for 12 years, her first marriage that she had, because it's her second husband, her first marriage, she had 3 kids, and he was just like Scrappy, always in and out the house, and just could not just be settled. So she said, "Fuck it, I'm only marrying a man if I'm attracted to him. That's the only reason why I'm marrying a man." So she met her husband, and he is attractive, y'all. I can't even lie. That man is attractive. But she married him only for that reason. They have been married 12 years today.
Mm.
Only because she's attracted to him. There's something about him she cannot let go of, and that is how she's attracted to him. And that's what I tell you, because I gave her the education on scientifically being attracted to someone versus psychologically being
Mm.
attracted to somebody. And when you scientifically attracted to somebody, it works better. I know I'm not gonna force my beliefs on sexuality to everybody. I'm not gonna do that. But I'm just saying, when you do it the way we're supposed to do it, it ends up working the way it's supposed to work.
Mm-hmm.
Psychology is a mess. This is why me and her study it. Psychology is a mess because it teaches you to go against your natural DNA and chromosomes. It is designed to do that,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
which
That
is
is
why we're
true.
fucked up as human beings today.
Which is why that was damn. Like it was so pretty, and then you just landed it. I said, which is why we're fucked up. Wait,
We are.
it's true. No, he's not lying. He is not lying. I just thought that was funny because he James be careful with his words. So when he say stuff like that, I live for it. He said it's fucked up. Look, sometimes you can't sugarcoat shit.
You can't. And that's what we're seeing today in front of us. And this is a clear example because we all know somebody like Bambi. We all know somebody like Scrappy. We all know
Mhm.
somebody like Erica. We all know somebody, I don't know nobody like Andy, but we all know somebody like Rashida. So it's like, why you? Because I don't know nobody like Andy. I don't.
Anyway, thank you for the message. The message and read. All that matters is it was necessary.
Mm-hmm.
We see at this event, he spit the real though. I hope people actually listen to that. We see Erica Dixon and Yandel, James's favorite cast member, speaking
Right.
about
I love me some
co-parenting.
her.
Listen, Yandy talking to anybody about co-parenting is like Rashida trying to give marital advice. It doesn't go. It doesn't. Yandy, for me, can't talk about co-parenting when she was putting on sneakers in full makeup to go attack what's his face, Vin DC's baby mama, the other one, and then there was another baby mama.
Oh
She
yeah, the
owns
one that
something.
yeah,
The other baby
the
mama,
one the
Erica.
one that has the baby that same age as her son.
Yeah,
Yes, yes, yes.
that's the one where I guess Mendices was paying for an apartment for her in the previous season. Yandy said, "Watch this." I said, "Oh Lord, Lord." So I just can't take her giving advice, but the advice that she gave was good. She's basically like, you want to work towards having a good co-parenting relationship for the benefit of the kids. But we see basically Erica Dixon says she's enjoying the karma. And honestly, I think that we are all enjoying the karma because some of the stuff that she went through, well, basically everything that Erica went through, Bambi's going through now. In addition to that, Bambi says she feels like she's had a smear campaign go against her. And during the time this was filmed, Nobody was fucking with Bambi on the internet because a bunch of stuff came out from Imani. So I just, overall, I feel like the karma, yes, but you guys should still, everybody needs to move past that and grow up. Like, in my opinion, Imani's 18. So there's no reason for Erica Dixon and Bambi to be up under each other like that, because how? She has really, really small
This is
kids.
how
I
I feel
understand she.
about co-parenting.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you should try. Absolutely. You should. I would have no problem co-parenting if my partner had children because I know how to be a team player. I know how to be a friend. I know how to invite somebody in my space and make them feel as comfortable as possible. I know how to do that because at the end of the day, I'm expecting you, the former, to be over him and to be in your own situation. Something in that situation with Erica, and I'm gonna just keep it real, y'all. I'm not on Bambi's side with this, but something about Erica makes me feel like she's not 100% over Scrappy.
No.
And I feel like, and I feel Bambi knows that because he knows that at some point, all she has to do is real Scrappy. And the problem is why Scrappy hasn't gone back to Erica is Scrappy is too far gone.
I think the other thing with Scrappy, I think Erica never got over Scrappy. I definitely agree. Because anyone who watched them saw their dynamic, they had a thing. It was a thing. However, I feel like Erica, I think Erica knows he's not good for her, so she will fight that
No,
one.
because because the problem is that Erica and Scrappy got together because of their trauma bonds of their mothers. And see, what y'all don't understand about that, a lot of people get with people because of trauma bonds. And when you're not aware of your trauma bonds, then you end up being in toxic situations with a person who's going through the exact same thing. That's what attracted them to each other in the first place. Erica's mama was on drugs, Scrappy mama was a pimp. Both toxic situations, they're able to bond in the camaraderie that they don't have their mothers.
Yep.
Now, years later, you mature and you realize they're not good for you, but I really feel like the trauma bond still has not left them. And that's the thing about a trauma bond. When you're not, and this is when you're not honest with your therapist. If those two ever went to therapy, they never said this. I can guarantee you, because Scrappy still lives in that little boy mindset.
He definitely does.
Erica still lives in that angry little girl at her mother. She does. I see it in every time because this is how I know Erica, if she really was over her past trauma, there's nothing that Bambi could say or do, even online, that would ruffle up Erica, no matter what it was. Even if it was to her own daughter. What she would tell her daughter, get off the internet and we're going to move forward. I'm not even going to address this lady because I know what she wants.
We move it along. We see Sierra make some dumbass comment about being proud of her divorce. She's happy to be, yes, I'm divorced. Can you please go take an English class and learn to speak? I know that they have accents in the South, but Sierra just don't know. I don't think she reads well. I really don't. And you don't have to read much to like install a wig. You just don't. I learned how to braid just watching YouTube. So you don't have to. I just want her to take a speech class. That's all.
I'm not doing this with you today.
Hey, this is my notes. I wrote it
down. You said she do not need to know how to read to put on a wig. I am done.
Don't. You don't.
Go ahead.
You don't.
Finish your notes.
Well, that was all I said. But we see that Rashida wants Bambi and Erica Dixon to talk, which everyone in the free world knows is a bad idea, except for Rashida. But then again, she took her husband back, which was a bad idea. So I don't expect to get good ones from her. We see basically when they speak, disaster occur. So it starts off okay, but then Bambi basically says that Erica Dixon is abusive. And I think that that's wrong of Bambi to say to anybody, like even to repeat, because it doesn't matter if Imani said it. You're breaking all trust between you and Imani, which is going to cause a problem between Imani and her siblings. Because how are her siblings going to feel when she has an issue with their mother? And people ride for their mama. So it's just, I don't think that that's something that you should repeat, especially if the allegation went nowhere. That's dangerous. But Erica Dixon, we find out from the conversation, the result was her being investigated. And the reason that she was investigated leads to dig into the situation deeper. Imani was at her father's house, it sounds like, while Bambi was there, because Imani came over upset, which I'm sure a teenage girl living with her mom would be pissed about some things. And she goes to her dad's house, and when she's at her dad's house, basically Erica is talking to people because they had already been having issues. And so I guess Imani told her father that she was being abused because her mama smacked her up, which I think in most households where kids have been whooped or something, every kid at some point cries abuse. They do. It's just something that happens. If your parents whoop your ass good enough, this is abuse. But you know, as a child who was actually abused, it's very easy to tell the difference between a child that is truly being abused and is just like hollering most of the time. So basically, Erica is advised by her attorney on dealing with scrapping them, which is smart. That's how you avoid issues. To go over to the house with the police to retrieve her daughter, because Scrap was not trying to send her home and it was becoming a thing and all of that. When she goes to retrieve her daughter, the police find out one way or the other that there's allegations of abuse, and this leads to Erica being investigated. So what we find out is that Bambi is saying that Imani is the one who told the police that her mother was abusing her. But here's the thing. Bambi also forgets that by saying that, you still look bad because you and Scrappy then took that information and went to court to attempt to get full custody of Imani, which Imani and Erica did not want, and that ended up going nowhere, meaning if it went nowhere, that there was no abuse in the household. So I can understand why Erica Dixon was pissed off, because when talking to Bambi about the situation, Bambi tried to blame everybody but herself. She even threw Imani under the bus and tried to say that it was her. And then says to Erica, you know, kids be lying and are manipulative. So now you're calling your stepdaughter a liar. You're calling her manipulative. You're offending her mom saying this, because Erica was investigated legally because of this. Mind you, you guys say that Erica Dixon is running a smear campaign on you. How, when she didn't expose you for having her investigated? That's a quick way to ruin you. So I'm just looking at the situation like it's obviously more of a mess than anybody knew. It's more, but there's always stuff that's more deeper. But all of these people in the situation, from Bambi to Erica to the mother-in-laws to fucking Scrappy, they're all so emotionally immature and not where they should be for their age as adults, that they will expose basically the shit that's happening off camera, because it always happens specifically. I'm annoyed because they do get heavy. Bambi says something in the conversation. She's like, you see me on the street and you act like you a bitch that want to run up. Like I wouldn't do that. So Bambi sat there and to me looked calculated. Like I feel like she knew Erica would get upset because you played with her child and she's a mother. So there's no way in hell, as a mother of three, Bambi, that you don't know that that's offensive. The things that you were saying about this lady's daughter, you refusing to feed her. Then we find out the lies in Bambi's story. Imani goes over that house and Erica says, not when you're there. She doesn't go to this house when you're there. And when she does go when you're there, she's saying that all the kids and everybody else gets fed, but she doesn't. And Bambi's excuse to that, mind you, she admits to it, is, well, she didn't come out the room. So you still make food available for when she does come out the room. That's what you're supposed to fucking do as an adult and caregiver. But
that's why I said it was some bullshit. It is some bullshit. See, the problem is that you didn't want to interact with her for whatever it was that she was going through in that moment. And if you was her parent is, said in the operative word here, you would have made sure she was okay. And if she was hungry, you would have said, hey, I got to plate of food with you. I want to make sure you eat. Why don't you eat?
Or you send her daddy, and you send her daddy with her plate to give it to her so that she eats. But she should eat. So she stopped going around the house when Bambi was there and just went with her dad, and the problems went away. So now Bambi is trying to pick a fight. In my opinion, you and your He was your then husband, but you're now soon to be ex-husband. You guys came after this woman fucking legally. It's one thing to tell the police what Imani's telling you or whatever, but you went further than that after that step and attempted to get full custody.
Yeah. See, what needed to happen is because she is a teenager, mediation should have happened.
Yep.
Where you guys set with legal counsel to say, hey, we need to know what's going on. She is saying this. We are concerned. We are the parents. We need to know. But once again, scrappy ignorant, I don't understand that. But I'm telling it's the people who are going through this with teenagers. Teenagers are going through phases where they don't understand their body.
Yeah.
And they don't understand their hormones more so. They are just attached to them. They don't understand them. So they're going to act out and they're going to test all of them because that is what our body tells us to do. So what needed to happen was if they were smart in the mind, they would have said, before we put this out there, let's talk and see if we can come to some common ground. What really happened? That gave Erica a chance to speak her piece, and then we find a resolution. But see, to me, and I'm gonna catch hell for saying this, but I don't give a fuck. I felt like Bambi did that to prove another point about Erica.
Yeah, that's what my next note says. It says Kirk made a comment once these ladies got into it about I ain't paying my insurance. I bet you haven't. But I definitely agree that it was all to provoke. It just off of the fact and the strength that she seems to feel and have it in her head someone's painting a smear campaign, even though Erica has not done that and has been very silent for years. And you said every little thing that would poke a button. So you know how Erica came up. You know she just as ghetto, just as hood as Scrap. And listen, you may be from Compton, boo, but listen, she from Atlanta. Atlanta's rough too. There's a hood everywhere. Okay.
No, and like, understand that.
If a bitch says to me, James, you see me in the street like you want to run up. But it be making me want to run up. Run up then, bitch, because you know you ain't see me in the fucking street doing that. Like, do something then. I would have done exactly what Erica did because you disrespected my child. You've called my child a liar. You've called her a manipulator. You're telling me I still want your ex. You're being rude. And then there's probably shit that we don't know off camera. And now you want to do all this on camera. I just can't. I just can't with
Yeah, but one thing about it is even though I didn't have a problem with what Erica did, it's still wrong. At the end of the day, because you're proving the points. The fact that she was able to provoke you, she used that child as collateral damage, just like she used that situation to prove a point about you. See, you have to understand when you have people who do that, just like Ms. Beth said, it's calculated because it was calculated. It was she was doing it to prove a point about you. Hey, you fell for the bait because that's what I said. That's the ignorant in y'all. Y'all have to understand.
Bambi, we have not forgotten about you on basketball.
We haven't.
Trying to fight and attack all the weakest women who you knew wouldn't fight back.
Exactly.
So
I would have turned those tables on Bambi so quick, but once again, I'm educated and I know what I'm doing. And as I said, I don't think from a psychological standpoint, even though I am very versed in psychology, I think on a scientific standpoint because we are scientifically created. So I think on that scale. So I know how to get people and make people feel absolutely stupid. But that's just me personally.
When that's the thing. I think Erica has a little more growth to go through, but I think
a lot more. I'm not trying to be funny.
A lot of people I think will side with her because you can't come to somebody talking all types of mess about their child and how you're not going to change nothing and expect not to, because people act different and lose their marbles.
But you have to understand. No, I get what you're saying and I agree with you, but you have to understand. You just got this lady legally investigated. You just got it, and then you just prove points about her. The fact that she was able to get up and get angry. If Erica was really mature enough in her mind, she would have clocked all of that and wouldn't have gave her nothing.
Yeah.
I would have gave her
nothing. So, like everybody said, I want to see, and I'm interested in seeing this. What you gonna say, Bambi, when you're finally divorced and the girl is 18 now? So now you truly have no reason to deal with Erica. So I'm interested to see what Bambi does. I think Bambi, either way, both of them ended up looking a little crazy.
They did. They both looked stupid to me.
The police,
Bambi, because I know what she was doing.
But either way, the police wouldn't have been involved if If they like, nothing would have went this deep if they didn't try to get custody. It's just not okay. So it just shows us the same shit that people thought was moved on. Like, it's still happening. It's just because Erica Dixon's not filming, we're not seeing all of it. So Bambi ends up walking away and leaving. She goes and she talks to, who was she talking to? I did not write that down, who she was talking to as she was leaving. But when Bambi was leaving, I'm just like, in my head, she continued to blame Imani some more publicly. And I think that's going to be problematic for Bambi, because you have to understand, like James said, this is a 40-something-year-old woman. This is an adult who's far past grown. She knows better than this. And you're choosing to fight and attack your stepdaughter publicly, whose life hasn't even began, and now she's in all of this drama when she should
Which is
be
why I
focused on
said I
starting
forgot. I
school.
was trying to think who she was talking to. I forgot that quick as well. But my thing is this: you were once from 14 to 18. You were
Mhm.
once that age, and when you were 14 to 18, probably your menstrual cycle just started. You
Yep.
started having hormones
Yep.
that were coming out of nowhere. Your estrogen
Yep.
levels were absolutely insane at that
Another
time.
important thing, if we are going to speak of science and psychology, is inductive and deductive reasoning, because that's when
Absolutely.
teenagers are starting to figure out and think into situations more in depth in the way that adults do. And so
Hmm.
Imani's probably going through all of this stuff. And that's
All
what
of
I'm
that,
concerned
yeah.
about.
And that's why I really think that outburst happened in that way is because she's
Hmm.
trying to, especially coming with parents of Erica and Scrappy,
Just a
it's probably
laughing
going to
stock
be in
of
height.
women.
Yeah, it's going to be in
Yeah.
heightened. So, and Bambi knows this because she was once a teenager. That's why I said grown people who look at children, because she was a child at this point,
Hmm.
looking at children and saying, "Oh my gosh, she's acting out. Oh my gosh, she's bad." It's like, no, she's trying to understand her mindset, and y'all are not given the space because your parents probably told you that. But because I understand the human body and the brain more so differently, I look at children or teenagers outbursts in a different way. I don't look at it
Yeah.
as being,
Yeah.
oh my God, they're out of control. Oh my God, they're crazy. No, they're misunderstood.
Yeah.
And you being somebody that's older, you went through that phase as well. You may not have went through it to the in depth because everybody's body is different.
Mm.
So I have a chemical imbalance, unfortunately. So I have to understand my mind and my body, which is why I took scientific classes. Like I have 4 years of biology, I have 3 years of forensic science, and I have 4 years of psychology under my belt. So the problem with me is I understand that the two don't go hand in hand at all, even though they tell us it does. It does not.
Yeah.
It is
I just
completely
hope
two different
for
things.
the situation, and I'll before I move on from it, I'll say I definitely think one thing Erica Dixon did say that was true, and that's why we wish you would have calmed down, is karma. Honey, everything that Erica Dixon went through, Bambi's going through. But unlike Bambi or Erica Dixon, Bambi's going through this with 3 fucking kids, meaning she's gonna be stuck with Scrappy for much longer than everybody else was. So I think
And
that,
not to mention, because there was a child support issue between Erica and
oh
Scrappy as well.
yes,
Not
yes,
to
they
mention
were.
that that's going to cost money, and we don't know how much MTV is going to keep this black syndicated show. Just saying.
I know this. I feel like the value of Love and Hip Hop's gone down a lot because the people they allowed on that show, no shade, light skin Keisha. I love her now, but I think she figured out in her team, get her off of this shit. Uh,
Because
Love and Hip
I
Hop,
understand, you don't understand. Y'all don't know how long this check is going to last.
exactly.
So my thing is
Because
this.
once this little writer's strike is over and we're getting more actual scripted TV, I think that we're going to see a lot of change related to
Yeah,
reality
because
television.
MTV is really known for Teen Mom and Jersey
The
Shore.
Challenge,
And the
Jersey
challenges is,
Shore,
yeah, they picked y'all up because they
ridiculousness.
needed
Yeah.
they needed a fail safe.
Hmm.
So, and now Tyler Perry owns VH1, and I know Tyler Perry ain't for loving hip hop, hence he wouldn't hire Carly Red, allegedly.
Oh, I've seen
So,
Carly Red actually on a lot of little movies and stuff on Amazon.
yeah, her and Erica them doing them Tubi movies.
No, 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 no. Erica's on Tubi. Carly Red's actually got movies and shows on
I could have
Amazon
I
and
saw
legit.
Carly Red on a
She was
Tubi
a
movie.
part of Kingdom something with Yolanda Adams and them. She's been doing a couple of things with actual, and then she had another role on a show. It's not on TV anymore. There was a series finale, but it did used to come on. So she actually has done actual film, not Tubi. But Erica has to go on Tubi because that vein has to be on a film that's not so believable. So I've watched some of Erica's movies and it's a disaster. She was a doctor. Push! with the vein. I'm like, what the hell kind
I'm
of
telling
acting?
you, if you mention that vein one more time, I have my medical equipment ready. I am ready to
He wants
test.
to drain it, y'all.
I do. I literally want to drain it, and I want to inject saline in it so it will, kind of pupane
I'm
into
done,
her head.
James. I'm
But
done.
I'm serious. Like that
No,
they
you
drives
are
me
not going to
crazy.
drain her vein. I'm so done with him.
E- Erica meant to call me. I can do it. I promise.
Listen, we
I'll do it for
see
free.
Yandy, Miss Yandell, speak with Carly Red after the incident. And we already knew because the event was at Frost Bistro that we could expect no form of professionalism, but fights and, shit that reality likes. So we see that Yandy speaks to Carly Red, which, even though we know it was fake, Yandy talks to her about the issue she has with her in front of her, which not many people have done. And Yandy's basically like, you told me that Spice and them, that y'all sat down and they did not want anybody around by family. So what I said at first was maybe Carly meant to stay Spice's family, but at the same time, knowing Carly Red, she could have been lying about certain parts of it, and maybe that is where Spice is taking offense. But then at the same time, Spice is going to a doctor that's like, oh, you have all these hernias, you have to have multiple surgeries, and then she goes to get a second opinion and hears from that doctor, no, this can all be done in one surgery, which as a trained surgical nurse, I did understand and know. And I think most people would think who are in medicine, like, why didn't they just do it all at once? Sometimes there's reasons that you don't do that because of the time that you'll be under anesthesia. But with what Spice has going on, I was like, well, who's to say you have to do it now? Usually they want your body to heal and they give you medications and have you sit for a little bit, even if you are a little uncomfortable, because you don't want to go and recut and continue to damage scar tissue. That
Well,
can
the problem
become,
is that she's also had other questionable surgeries
yep,
that also could play a part into why a doctor may not want to perform. Because let me explain something to y'all. HIPAA is very gray. I'm
yeah,
just
it
gonna put
is.
that up.
Yeah.
HIPAA is extremely gray. So what I'm gonna say is this: because of her surgery and because of her medical condition before, there are some doctors that will actually decline
Mm-hmm.
having you as a patient because of your medical history,
Mm-hmm.
especially when it comes to surgeries,
Yep.
because all it takes is one mishap or one malpractice or something that was misjudged for the doctor to lose his license or be sued. So
Yeah.
that's
Look
why they
at
are careful.
DC Young Fly's baby mama who just passed away. She
Hmm.
was in good health and passed away. So anything can happen when you're under the knife.
Yeah.
Uh, so I definitely get that.
Hmm.
So they speak to Carly or whatever about the family. And I think Carly may be lying about small parts, but I think overall as a whole, she's not lying about big things. So we find out as the conversation comes, Carly finally fought back a little bit. And it's like, but you coming at me, Spice, but you haven't even listened to me long enough to know that the people around you is fake. She brings up Shekinah. I was like, oh, she came for Shekinah, which
I
I
said
can understand because
we going here.
Shekinah was in Spice's house, suddenly acting close to Spice. I really want to be there for Spice. No, you don't, Shekinah, because Tiny, your friend of however many years, who got you known. Yes, you had the skill to do hair, but no one would know the skill that you had if you hadn't found her. I'm just saying, doesn't want to deal with you at all for the same reason. That was part of the reason T.I. and Tiny's Family Hustle show came to end. So there's a lot.
Well,
There's a lot with
I feel
Shekinah.
two ways about that. I'm not going to use Tiny as an example. No, I love you. I do. I'm not going to use Tiny as an example. We have to use somebody else.
Honestly, with Shekinah, there's really not many people you can use for an example. I'm talking
Exactly, and
about
that's and
Tiny
that.
for who helped her to get known. Who would know
But I'm
Shekinah
just
if
saying
it wasn't for
but
Tiny?
that's not the same thing here because Spice is new to Shekinah as
Mm.
far as like who she was. Because remember, they didn't kick it like that when Shekinah first came on Love and Hip Hop because they came on at the same time. They
That's what
didn't
I'm
kick it like
saying.
that.
Tiny felt
So
like Shekinah, and Shekinah did show this on that show. She said, you got a rich ass husband. I expect you to give this or help me with that. So that and the things that
that and
Carly,
see, yeah,
I feel like Shekinah is the type of person who will align with whoever
no,
will
she's a
help
leech.
her to
That's
be.
a
No, and I feel like that's what Carly was saying, and it does make sense. But Carly pulled out receipts and showed the text message on camera and to Yandy and to Spice and to Shekinah. And if you peep, when Shekinah seen that text message, she got mad. And usually Shekinah's like, I'm not about to argue with you. I'm too old to be fighting you girls. That's usually how she talks. But she was ready to go when it came to Carly because we catch someone defensive in a lie. I think that fucks with them a little bit.
mm-hmm.
which it would. But we find out from the receipt that all of this stuff, this is why I don't believe Spice either. So Shekinah goes in the earlier season to Spice's house trying to be cool with her and all this stuff. And Spice is like, you didn't come see me and this and that. And I'm like, well, Spice, how are you mad that someone didn't come see you, but then you're not upset but you're upset at the people who did come see you? It just doesn't make sense. And I'm just saying, the text showed that she was told to go to SDQE Airport. That's how clear that fucking text was, which is in the DR, the Dominican Republic. That is their international airport. The text said, showed Shekinah, where do I go? And Shekinah responded, and what's her face? Mita responded to her, SDQ. And I guess part of the reason it was responded or whatnot had to do with Carly or whatever. So it looks like Shekinah was, well, not looks like, Shekinah was caught in a lie. She's been crying and blaming Carly Red, saying, you told me that I couldn't go see her. And Mita, but she hasn't said nothing about Mita. Have you peeped that? None of them have complained about Mita. I'm thinking that Carly told Mita, the people who were hitting them up, and that Mita may not have gotten back to everybody, or she got back to some of them. Now, I can understand not telling Andy where Spice is. I can understand not telling Rashida where Spice is. Let's keep it real. They're not close. Never have been. But when it comes to Shekinah, I'm like, Shekinah asked, she received the information, there was further text, and then she just never showed up or explained why. But why would you lie and act as if you didn't have the location, Shekinah, and make Carly out to look weird when you knew that you did have the information? Why are y'all trying to bring this woman down? Carly Red needs to walk away from the fucking show or talk.
I'm gonna be honest with you. The reason why I think Spice is mad at Mita and Carly is because they showed up to the hospital and now she was going to expose why Carly was, or why Spice was really in the hospital. I think that that's really what it is. I feel like that's what it is, and I'm sorry. I don't really care. Life or death situations, we all have a number. But my thing is this: why are you so mad at them that she showed up? Were you scared something was about to get exposed? Because doctors can't tell them what's going on with you.
Nope.
So
why were you have no part?
Yeah. So were you afraid your sister was going to say something to them too? And because I need to know. Like, it's really.
Then again, weird. It may be different. I know we have HIPAA in the U.S., but the DR is a different country and it's not a U.S. territory. So I'm like, do they?
I don't know. I would have to talk to my friend who does Doctors Without Borders because I think it's still the same.
You think it's still the same?
I have a friend who does.
Maybe that's why they were scared. But either way, it looks like I definitely thought that after watching this episode. I'm like, okay, it looks like there is something happening at the hospital y'all don't want people to know about. And because I feel like Spice and her family is like, Carly's got big mouth. I feel like they probably talked to Carly about it. And that's why she said nothing to a lot of people, because she was like, I don't even want to be seen to be talking about it. But all I know in this situation, I think Spice is full of shit. I think Carly has to take accountability for her very small role in things. And Shekinah's been exposed as a liar. And I don't know how Shekinah's going to go forth with being on the show or how she'll answer to people on the reunion, because that's kind of a big deal. Your lie didn't just involve one person. You went and you lied on two people who had a very close friendship. So you lied in a way that was intentional and ruined a friendship. You lied in a way that is causing this woman to be crying every time she's on camera. And you lied in a way that brought a bunch of other people who have nothing to do with the situation in to make them think that they were lied to. I think that Shekinah and Spice conferred and know what the fuck they're doing, because it doesn't make sense that Spice would even open the door to Shekinah when she hasn't been there for her at all. Or,
as I said, I need to know. There's so much context that we're not getting in this whole situation that does not make sense, which is why I said I feel like it didn't. I feel
like Carly might have known about some of this too, but not to the extent that she would be painted in this way. Because I can see her like, well, I'm already knowing as messy Carly Red and being cool with Spice, and we can use this.
I don't think it's necessarily that. I think that Spice, when she found out that Carly and Mita were at the hospital, I think she was mad because they were there and that they could have been in place to know why she really was in that hospital, what really did happen. I'm telling you, it has to be that, because there's no way I'm getting mad at you for showing up at the hospital and I'm on my deathbed.
Yep. There's no way.
There's no way. That doesn't
I
make
may
sense
not
to
have
me.
liked how you did something, but the
Yeah,
gesture and intent is way bigger than
but see,
any
here's the
issue
thing.
out
You're my best friend.
there.
I expect you to be there. I don't care under any circumstance. I'm on my deathbed. I expect you to be there, just like I would be there if you were on yours. I
Yep.
don't care what if we was on the best terms or on the worst of terms.
I'm
You
showing up.
meant something in my life for almost 20 years. There's no
Yeah.
way you would not be at that hospital. I'm sorry. I don't
Mhm.
care what you found out about me. I don't care what I was in there for. I don't care if my head was in between my leg and I got stuck. I don't
He
care
said that
what
I
it
was.
was. Like it doesn't matter to me, and that's why I'm saying to me, Spice was in there. I'm starting to believe Tasha K. I really don't want to believe Tasha K because that's kind of crazy to me.
Oh, I've been thought that from episode 1, and I received a lot of flack. I've had some negative comments or whatever. I had someone record a video
Y'all have
because
to
of it.
understand something. Y'all
I'm
have to
still
understand
here.
something. This does not make sense in the slightest bit, even for a reality TV show for a storyline. It does not make
Most people who almost pass away, if they step away on most of reality TV. They may come back, but they step away and they avoid the bullshit for some time. Spice is too invested in drama and constantly hollering and jumping around and stuff, getting into it with people. And it's like she's trying to do it in a way that makes her look like she's ethical or trying to calm things down. But honey, I know for a fact if you have a hernia, your doctor told you cannot be hollering at people, you cannot be going off, you cannot be in situations that elevate your stress. You have to remove yourself from it. I had a hernia, several. You can't do that. Or you could actually pop a stitch, rupture something. Like these things can actually become life threatening. So, whatever the fuck, that was the episode. It was a good episode, yes, but I feel like we're definitely beating at the topic to points of no return. I feel like
I
we're
just
just
feel
now
like
circling the
MTV.
same shit for
Yeah, I feel
everybody.
like MTV. We need a better direction. We need a
Mm.
better direction. When Mona had the show, yes, it was some fuck shit, but at least she had direction.
It
At
gave.
least it didn't. At least it didn't stay in the same place for 14 episodes, and we're trying to figure out why we're still here. So
Mhm.
I'm scared for Love and Hip Hop Miami because I already saw the snippet with Bucky and old girl with Afro Puff. I can't think of her name right now.
Amara La Negra.
Thank you. I already saw the little snippet with them, and I'm
Mhm.
already irritated.
So I love that you call her Bucky. Shay, aka Bucky for Flavor of Love. There's a lot. I'm glad that you brought that up because we are done discussing Love and Hip Hop Atlanta for today. We hope you enjoyed the recap. I do have to let people know because it's already the 9th and on 8/14, according to my handy dandy iPhone, is when Love and Hip Hop Miami comes on TV, which works out perfectly because we recap on Wednesdays. So you'll have to wait a day, but you'll get the recap. It will be added. It's likely going to be right after the Love and Hip Hop Atlanta recap. But the reason I bring that up, Love and Hip Hop Atlanta is obviously going to be nearing end if Love and Hip Hop Miami is coming on television. So I think personally this season has given what it's given. I don't think there's much left. And the last thing I'll say on the show is, with the season mostly being done, it's odd that Kendra, Jock, Yandy and them, some of them are just coming on TV and we've got nothing
That's
from.
fine.
Why keep them on the show if they're not going to be filmed?
Like I said, Mona owes Yandy some money allegedly. That's why she's still here. I don't know. I'm glad Jock and Kendra pop in and out. I don't want to see them right now. So
Nobody
I,
does.
I did 8-9 episodes of recapping them. I'm drained of them because
He's drained.
they have threw me through the ringer with this bullshit.
Yeah.
So I can't handle another storyline from them. So
I think
I'm
Love
good.
and Hip
And
Hop Miami would be a little. I
I'm hoping it's refreshing. As I said, I'm not really
can't
that
take
interested.
Suki Hana seriously. I just can't. Not because of like the ass and all the
No, where
psychotic,
she's been in the
but
box too much
it's
for
like
me. I
her
can't.
issues. I don't think she actually has real beef with nobody on the show. I think she's past the show.
Are they
Honestly.
bringing back the other two that made them the Powerpuff Girls? The one with the gap and the other one, the really dark skinned tall one. No, they're not bringing them back. Because I missed them when they were a trio. The one that fought that girl for Trina.
Trina, I don't remember, child.
Yeah,
Listen,
I don't, and I'm not looking forward to seeing Bucky. I'm not looking forward to seeing Ray J and Princess. I'm not looking forward to seeing Trick.
They have their own network. They need to go continue Zeus. Y'all
Yeah,
want to
I'm
profit off
not
of the
looking
black
forward
of
to
the fool
seeing.
on Zeus? Go be there yourself.
I'm okay with Nori. I just don't like his wife. Yeah, I've said
Yeah.
this before, and I'm
I
gonna
don't
say it
like her
again.
either.
I don't
But
like her.
yeah.
I don't like, and I'm mad that what's his name and his wife Sheila is not gonna be on the show. I'm mad that they're not on the show because I actually like them.
They're not coming back?
I didn't see them unless they're. I hope so because I actually like.
I hope so. I like them. I definitely like them together. We will go over. I guess next week the show will be here, so I'm like,
Yeah, we didn't get a cast intro.
we'll
But
just
that's okay.
go into the episodes in the new season. I think that because it's a newer Love and Hip Hop, and Love and Hip Hop Miami is the one that was on TV last prior to Atlanta. So I don't know, but we will be here on August 16th. That's Wednesday again, 12 o'clock. We'll do Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, 1 o'clock. I guess we'll do Love and Hip Hop Miami. Prior to that, we'll be doing Bell Collective, RHOA. There's going to be a lot of happy and changing things coming because shows are getting ready to go in the fall season. So James is excited.
I'm very excited because they still haven't given me, y'all, Bravo in that call center still has not released a Married to Medicine launch date yet. I know they're done filming, so because Dr. Jackie and Dr. Heavenly was just in Italy. So I'm waiting for that because we're going to do on my channel a recap of last season and also a little snippet of why the spinoffs did not work. So we're going to do that. Yeah, we need to, because it's a great show. Basketball Wives is coming back. I actually heard they got a.
Yeah, they did. I'm aware. I'm fully aware. I've been aware. I'm like, I thought I'll recap Basketball Wives.
You know what you should do?
I don't know if I'm gonna do every episode.
Watch Jennifer Williams' YouTube channel because I wish you would do a video on that since Basketball Wives is your territory and this new man of hers.
She is a new man.
Oh, I'm gonna send you.
I will look into it, and that helps with more content. So
yeah, I'm gonna send you some shit that is crazy to me based on her personality. But that's it. That's all I got.
I appreciate everybody. Also, we have a song review tonight. I hate that I have to spend like 5 minutes after every video now going over stuff, but that means you're watching me and subscribing. So thank you. We'll have a song review tonight at 7 p.m. Feel free to tap in, look at the posts and the links everywhere on all my socials to get your information. Other than that, thank you for watching. We both thank you. We hope you subscribe to both of our channels and have the best day.
See ya.